All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Looks like we got a couple people here. That's awesome. I'm actually new to Mighty Networks, so I was gonna click on something, but I decided don't click on shit. If we're successfully live streaming, done. It's over. Let me not get crazy.
Awesome. Well, hi everybody. We've got a couple of different devices and cameras going right now. This is Katrina's voice that you hear if you're listening on Mighty Networks. We're so excited to have Roz the Diva here for our jump start today. Just a little introduction for Roz. I feel like Roz needs no introduction. Just absolutely such an inspiration and such an icon within the pole industry. But a little bit about Roz. So Roz is an NASM certified Roz the Diva Maze, has dedicated many late nights at the gym to becoming a personal trainer, pole diva, and fitness educator. She specializes in helping non-traditional athletes overcome gym intimidation through pole dancing, TRX, mobility work, and strength training. Her talents have been featured in Fitbit, the New York Times, ESPN, Glamour, Huffington Post, and others. When she isn't half naked and sweaty, Diva's usually making pancakes with Beyonce and Michelle Obama. So we're so excited, Roz. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. We're so honored to have you now as a part of our advisory board for Vertica, helping us with so many things, including helping to coach plus size athletes. Roz will be coming to Tucson, you guys, in January. She's doing 4 different workshops in Vertica. So excited. Roz will also in the future be making her way around to some of the other Verticas. So watch for that. That's going to be awesome. But what we're doing here today is Roz is going to give us some of her favorite moves, really whatever she wants to do, but some of her favorite moves for specifically just training and staying in feeling great every day. And we're doing this as part of getting ready for the V90 challenge, which is starting January 8th. If you guys aren't enrolled in the V90 challenge yet, go ahead and do so. And anyways, I know that you guys all want to participate and see Roz here. So I am going to turn it over to you, Roz. Thank you so much for everything. People who are watching on Mighty Networks, drop some emojis, drop some comments, let us know you're here. And with that, let's have some fun.
All right, thank you, Katrina. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Roz the Diva here. So we are gonna rock. We're gonna start with a couple of squats. First of all, I'm wearing shorts. I'm just wearing a long shirt, so you can't tell. But I just didn't know if you were gonna talk about me because, like, who is this chick not wearing pants? And as I said this, I realized that we're pole dancers and we don't wear pants anyway, so no one give a shit if I wasn't wearing pants. But anyway, you know what I mean. So let's start with some squats. So first things first, there is no one perfect way to do a squat. You have options. So let's first start with your feet together-ish. So not all the way together, but almost there. Let me actually tilt my camera down just a smidge. Oh, that's perfect. So my feet are together-ish. And if you look at me from the side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this butt and I'm going to put it back behind me. So as I bend my knees, the purpose of this is not to fall forward, but rather it's to push my butt as far back as I can. Now, once I get to a place when my form starts getting crazy, that's when we want to come back up and stand and squeeze those butt cheeks. So a couple things for you to look towards. Number one, you want to make sure when you come down that your back isn't too rounded and it's not overly arched. You want to have a nice neutral back. So if you're standing up nice and tall, this is my version of a neutral back. Number one. Number two, when I sit back, I'm gonna take all this booty meat and go behind me. My knees are gonna bend as a result of my butt going back. Once I get here, when I feel my forms start to get crazy, I'm gonna squeeze those butt cheeks and stand up. So same thing. Oh, we got some comments here. I love this.
Roz, I think we're missing sound. Can you guys, so I'm getting,
Holy shit. All right, can you guys can everyone hear me now? Okay, wow, I was muted that whole time. Okay, let's try that one more time. Hello, everybody.
don't worry, Roz, we got you. We got you.
You sure did. Okay, so I'm Roz the Diva. Welcome. This is my first time using Mighty Networks. Clearly, didn't realize I gave you guys a whole monologue and a whole soliloquy, and I just happened to see some of these comments pop up, so I came in to read them, and I was like, then I realized what the comments said, because if I wasn't paying attention, I would have just kept talking. But any hoodle, one, I'm wearing shorts, just a long shirt, so that's what I was talking about in the beginning. And now let's get back to some squats, shall we? So my feet are together-ish. Now let's try some squats with your feet roughly hip width apart. So not super crazy wide, but we're gonna do the same thing. If you want to see it from this position, what I'm gonna do is bend my knees, same thing we were just doing. Have that booty push back, and then I'm gonna squeeze my butt cheeks as I stand up. So I'm gonna come down nice and easy, holding that balance. And then once I'm low enough and my knees can't go any farther forward, now we're gonna squeeze those cheeks and stand up. So everybody, let's come on down. There we go. Let's come on down and try that one more time. Having your feet roughly hip width apart. We're gonna bend those knees. I'll do it from the side so you can see. We're gonna bend those knees, push that booty back. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And that's good for me. Now I'm gonna squeeze my cheeks on the way up. So one thing that's really important is that you're not putting a ton of your weight and the stress into the kneecap. Your knees are strong, but sometimes they're temperamental. So they don't love when you put too much body weight into them sometimes, unless that's what you want to do. But in this case, that's not what we're doing. So we want to keep the knees in line with the toes. So now we're going to do one more variation of a squat. My feet are nice and wide, and this is my favorite type of squat. This is called a sumo squat. So sumo squats, my legs are nice and wide. I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to come on down, and then I'm going to stand up, squeeze those cheeks. Let's go for 4 in this position. All right, 3, 2, 1, hit it. Let's take it down, squeeze, and stand up. And come on down, down, down. Squeeze those cheeks, stand all the way up. 2 more, same thing. Let's come down, have those cheeks behind us. Squeeze, 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 squeeze all the way up. And one more time, just so we get it right. Coming down. Excellent. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Woo, shake it out. So when you're doing your squats, you have options. You don't necessarily need to do only squats with your feet together or only squats with your feet nice and wide. I prefer a nice and wide stance, and that's what really works for me. Now, if you're like me and you're still working sometimes on your squats, but you need a little bit of reassurance if you're afraid you're gonna fall, guess what? I've got this handy dandy couch behind me. Also, welcome to my naked self. I'm gonna squat down over my couch, so the worst case scenario happens, I have a seat. So I'm squatting, squatting, squatting. Oh shit, I had a seat. Done. You can do this with a bench. You can do this with a ledge. You can do this with any particular form, something that can hold your body weight. That's what we're going for. We're taking nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. And then I go to failure. And then I stand up. So, do we have any questions about squats right now? I know squats aren't necessarily the sexiest thing in the whole wide world, but they are super important. And we love them, and they're a great warm-up, great things to do. Yes, yes, yes. I love these emojis, this fire emoji. Ooh, that's a lot of fire. I like that, Katrina. Chloe, I see you out there. Yes, Bree, I see you too. Hey, Barbara, hey. Okay, so now that we just did some squats, let's talk about lunges, because those are kind of related. So lunges, doesn't matter if you're going forward or back with your lunges. I want you to have a decent amount of space between your legs when you lunge. You want to have your weight, your body weight is going to be in the front heel and in the back toes of what you're doing. So front heel, back toes, and my shoulders are going to line up over my chest, and my chest is going to line up over my hips. So now we're going to bend down, bend that back leg and that front leg, and then once you come down as much as you can, you're going to stand up. When you stand up, this should be a dual effort between the front and the back leg. Okay, here's another perspective. Let's switch legs, do the same thing over here. Coming down, front knee doesn't get too crazy. And now let's stand up one more time. Same thing, come down again, nice and easy, and then stand it up. So if you're doing this, I feel this in my back thigh and in my front booty cheek. So if my legs are in this position and this is my front leg, this is my front booty cheek that I feel it in, and this is the back thigh area that I feel it in. Let's switch legs again. All right, if you'd like to add a little bit of challenge to this, let's bring those arms up in the air. And here we go. Coming on down, coming on down, coming on up, coming on up. Oh shit, don't fall, don't fall. Ah, I saved it. Did you see that? I totally saved it. All right, come on down again. Excellent. And then come back up. Let's step forward and switch legs. Same thing with the other leg forward. Let's come down, come down, come down, and then stand up. One more time. Coming down, coming down, coming down, and standing up. And shake it out. So throw me a thumbs up or a fire or some kind of emoji if that makes sense to you. Because we love, lunging is basically a slow walk. It's an exaggerated walk. And squats and lunges, it's one of those things you're like, what does this have to do with pole? But here's the deal. Your legs, your core is your foundation. If your legs are crazy and if they can't support you, it's going to be really, really difficult to do the leg hangs, the climbs, and all the other stuff that we do on pole with our legs, holding on by the legs. So we want to make sure that we do all that. We make sure we've got nice and strong legs, so that way it makes sense. So we're almost out of time, but I think we can do one more set of lunges. So one more time, a nice distance between your legs and your feet. And I'm gonna come up on my back toes and I'm gonna bring my arms up. My chest is nice and tall. I'm gonna bend my knees, bend the knees, and then come on up again. One more time, same thing, coming down, bend my knees, and then come on up, and then step forward and switch, bring the other leg back behind you, and let's go ahead and rock. Come on down, stand on up, stand on up, come on down. Excellent. And then stand up and shake it out. Whew. So let's take just the last like 30 seconds, because I know we're only supposed to go for 15 minutes, but God forbid I don't answer anybody's questions. So I just want to check in real quick to see if anybody has any questions about what we just did. Just went over some squats, some lunges, but also if you've got questions for the upcoming workshops that we're doing. I have never been to Arizona, so this is going to be my first time. I've driven through Arizona, but that doesn't count, right? So this is my first time coming. I'm so hyped to be a part of the Vertica fam. And yes, let's totally give an overview of the workshops. So first, let me go to my calendar so I can remember which workshops I'm doing. Okay, so one workshop is going to be, I believe, throw that ass in a circle. So throw that ass in a circle. This is gonna be about here we go. This is gonna be all about doing spins on static pole. Doing spins on static pole. So if you're not sure how to get enough momentum, if you're not sure about doing like coming back to basics of spins, this is going to be the perfect workshop for you. It is all levels. So and I truly do mean it's for all levels. So if you are struggling with a backspin, you are welcome. If you are doing a flying, chasing wombat spiral, you are absolutely welcome. And that's going to be, I believe, at the Oro Valley location. If you go to rozthediva.com and look at my events calendar, I've got everything public so you can check that out, Barbara. But Barbara, I'll be at Oro Valley and also at Tucson. So the other workshop I'm doing is coaching plus size pole dancers. So this workshop I love to do, and it's my signature workshop. And this really helps instructors as well as students too. It's just as helpful for them, talking about how to best support plus size students. So we start with what happens before you even get into the classroom and how to attract and build trust initially with plus size students. And then we go jump on the pole and we actually go through and we go over how to spot plus size students and some different teaching techniques that I just picked up along the way from my almost 13 years of teaching. And then also I believe I'm doing my inverts workshop, Inverts 101. And so this is perfect for people who suck at inverts. I'm going to be doing a lot of spotting. We're going to be doing a lot of practicing. It's going to be somehow, some way, we're getting that face down, ass up is really, I think, what I should call this, this workshop. So, and this is another one that I really like doing because it gives people hope, because inverts are really, really friggin' hard. So the more practice that you have doing these things that's difficult, then the better that you'll be. Now, if you can't invert or you've never inverted, this is the most perfect place for you to begin. So don't worry if you suck at inverts. If you don't really know what an invert is, this is where you start. And if you are already inverting, you are absolutely welcome to join us because we're going to be going over the basics and the foundation movements, but we're also there'll be time towards the end of the workshop where everyone can kind of have their own individual practice sessions, and I can come around and spot you and help you and give tips. So if you're working on leg hangs, if you're working on a butterfly, if you're working on a jade, if you're working on any of the other wild shit that we do all the time, then 100% this is the workshop for you. So we got the workshops there. Again, I'm going to be at Oro Valley and also in Tucson. This is my first trip to Arizona, so I'll need some good food recommendations. So everyone, please hit me up on, I'll add my Instagram handle here. Instagram.com/Roz the Diva. There we go. So I'm Instagram.com/Roz the Diva. Hit me up with different places. Where should I eat? A bitch is hungry. I'm going to be hungry afterwards. So if you want to even join me when we eat, also let me know too, because I'll be hungry and I'm sure other people will be hungry as well. So now I'm officially 7 minutes over my time, and I think I'm going to stop talking, but just know I'm excited to see everybody. I can't wait to meet everybody. I hope these squats and these lunges weren't too boring for you. But listen, strong legs, strong dancers. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to end this live. And also shout out to everybody who's here on Zoom or who's watching this Zoom. And I think that's all she wrote. All right, I'll see you guys in like 2 weeks.